Hi everyone, welcome back to Chris Grows Up. We have finished our first lot of growth, our first section of growth, where we looked at cutting out the small talk and going deeper in relationships. And now we're on to our second topic. Really exciting. I'm really excited to tackle this one because it's an issue that I've found in my life fairly prevalent, and I'm excited about tackling it over the next 2 weeks, and so I hope you are too. So let me cut to the chase. What is it? Drum roll. It is titled Getting Unsocial. Now, confusing, maybe, potentially not. Maybe you like the pun, maybe you don't. That doesn't matter. What getting unsocial is we're looking at reducing our social media activities, okay? And the reason why I'm looking personally to do it, maybe you're looking to do it as well, is because I found that it's just taking over my life a little bit, taking over my life a lot. I'm finding that I'm on social media a lot more. I have it on my phone, I have it on my computer. It's like the thing you do before you do your thing. So if I'm doing something on my computer, I'm doing some work, and I do a lot of work on my computer because my work is computer based. It's like you pull up Facebook first and you check it out, or you check out your Twitter feed first, or your Instagram feed first, or whatever. And it's like you spend 5-10 minutes on that, do what you need to do, connect with who you need to connect with, and then you move on. But it happens so often, that little connection. It becomes, I find, unhealthy. And the reason why I personally think it's unhealthy is Facebook especially can do a lot of things to you. We become obsessed with Facebook. And it feels, like I said before, it fills all the gaps in our lives. But I think people in general, we have this desire to connect and to feel loved. And Facebook kind of gives us that gratification very quickly, because you can count how many friends you have, you can see how many likes you've got, and that gratification can become obsessive. In fact, even like no one is exempt from this, mind you. Like I feel like I'm fairly confident in who I am as a person, but I'm still succumb to it. I still feel good when I get a like. I still have that oxytocin, that that chemical that activates in my brain when someone goes like, or someone forwards something or shares something. We all are affected by this, and it can be healthy and it cannot be healthy. Something else that I've been thinking about in terms of social media is just the way that we interact. For instance, what I've found is that the nice comments, the positive things that you can say and you can share on Facebook, the difference between saying them in person is that in person it feels really good when you have a face-to-face eye contact conversation and someone says something nice to you. You can feel really good. When someone says, hey, great hair, or this or that on Facebook, it doesn't feel as good. But here's the thing, here's the flip side of that. Mean things on Facebook are even worse. They have like a heightened meanness to them. Someone tells you off, someone abuses you on Facebook, on Twitter, on email, through text, whatever. It's so much stronger. And it's because they're removed from it, so they can say whatever they want without repercussions, and they're just tossing insults at you, and they're safe. And so it hits you a lot harder, because it's like, what are you going to do? How can you defend yourself from that kind of attack? And so I'm looking at reducing my social media output for myself, so I can have more time just to kind of get on with the rest of my life. But also I think it's an unhealthy habit that I have. Just to kind of give you some of my background with social media, so that you can kind of get a sense of how it's going to proceed. I remember really early on, I think my first exposure to social media was, and you guys, most people who are younger probably won't know what this is, but it was a messaging program called ICQ. And my mum was using it at the time. It was like one of the first messaging programs that came out, and it was literally what you type was live on the screen. So it wasn't like type it and send it. It was like you typing and it pops up. And so I connected with a few friends on ICQ originally when I was really quite young. I think really early teenage years, maybe even younger. And then I remember in high school, MSN Messenger was huge, and I'd spend hours on that at night talking to people. From then it was like MySpace, and for those even younger people, they're like, what's MySpace? Like MySpace is essentially like Facebook, and MySpace just like, it was full on, it was huge. And I remember your MySpace profile account was like the ideal image of who you were. It's like what I was talking about before. What images you put up are like the best images of you, and people would become obsessed with their friends list. You used to have like what's called a friends list, and it was like position numbered. So people who were like your number one friend, people were like, oh man, I'm so good, you're my number one friend. Or if someone slipped and they went from number 3 to number 4, you'd have this massive fight. It's like, why is Cindy, your number 3 friend when I was your number 3 friend? But anyway, all sorts of debacle. And then Facebook came. I've never done Twitter. I've never done Instagram. I've protected myself from that. But Facebook has become especially disruptive in my life. And so I want to cut it down, or at least reduce it. So that's what I'm going to do for the next 2 weeks, is try and remove my social media engagement or diminish it. Detox. I'm going to detox social media and see what happens, see if I grow, see if it feels good. I'm anticipating that it will be hard, and I've got a few things that I think I'll do to kind of reduce it or help protect me. So I'm going to delete it from my phone, Facebook especially, because I know that's a killer for me. I'm just going to make sure that I'm not using it on my phone, and I'm going to be really strict and rigid when I'm on the computer, not to just jump on Facebook straight up. I'm going to delete from my favorites list, all that kind of thing, because I don't want to do it. The second thing is, I want to be especially conscious of when I want to use Facebook. And the reason for this is I want to see how often my brain goes, oh, you need a Facebook fix. And I'm going to record it as well. So I have an idea of how often I'm actually going to it and how often I think that I'm going to it. And the third thing is, what I want to do is I want to be mindful and conscious of what I can fill those gaps with. And conscious that I'm not filling them with unhealthy things, because that could be potentially an issue, is that I stop Facebook, but I just fill that time with something else, whether it's comfort foods or whether it's just watching a movie or DVD, where I could be doing things like going for a run, I could be playing with my kids, I could be talking to my wife, I could be doing any number of positive, healthy behaviors. And so that's what I'm looking to do with my 2 weeks. Slowing down, cutting out. I'm even like diminishing the consequences. I'm just slowing down. No, detoxing. Chris, be strong. Detoxing Facebook. So I will see you in a week's time when I have done my first week of detox, and I'll tell you how I've gone, tips that I'm thinking might be helpful moving forward, and all that kind of thing. So make sure you watch in a week's time on next Monday, 9 o'clock. Please subscribe. Please share with your friends if you like this. Have a good week, and don't forget to grow up.